welcome back to episode 2 of the People in Progress podcast. This is your guide to hot and healing girl summer. We are going to have 10 tips for living your best life this summer. We are doing all the things we want to do. We are enjoying our life. But I know personally I'm not in the phase where I'm living for the weekend, living for going out, getting drunk every night. I'm in the phase of life where I'm prioritizing myself, my values, my relationship, self-care, and enjoying summer in maybe a different way to hot girl summer or like rat girl summer, which we're seeing on TikTok. And if you're in that phase, I still think this is relevant to you because you still want to have those down days and those self-care days, taking care of yourself. But that's not the phase of life I'm in. But I'm very excited for you if you guys are having a rat girl summer. Tell me all about it in the comments. For those of you who are in your hot and healing girl summer era, let's get into it. Here's how to have your best summer yet. But before we do, segments. What has been progressing my life recently? So now this is a segment we have on this podcast. I'm just going to tell you guys this because it's the second episode if you didn't listen to the first one, which was my introductory episode. This is a section on the podcast where we talk about things that are working for us, things that are helping us improve our life, and obviously progressing our life comes from the name People in Progress. What has been progressing my life recently is nature. We don't have a backyard yet. They are working on it. In fact, they are currently working on it, which is why I'm filming this a bit later and the lighting's a little bit weird because we have had a lot of construction going on. We live in a forest where if you follow my Instagram, if you follow my YouTube, you'll know about that. It's not technically a forest. We're in a new build, but we are surrounded by trees. And despite our landlord telling me it's not a forest because they're probably going to knock it down eventually, it's a forest. We have coyotes, so it's a forest. There's bunnies, there's what else? So many birds. I'm just looking out the window now if you are watching the video because there's a window over there. We basically live in a forest and I'm loving being in nature, and like in the mornings I love having the doors and windows open and looking out the window, and it just makes me feel so happy, as well as just going on walks in nature and seeing all the trees and the lovely summer ecosystem just living its life. And we actually swam in a lake the other day. We went to Meech Lake, which is over in Quebec in Gatineau Park, and I loved it. There's something about swimming in a lake which is so much better than swimming at the beach, and I'm Australian so I'm allowed to say that lakes are better than the beach, although I do love some Aussie beaches. Yeah, it's something about being in the fresh water in a forest is incredible, and being in nature just truly revitalizes me. But what is holding me back? I think my morning routine. I had a really good morning routine during May, and then so we have 2 lovely cats who I've had for 6-7 years, and they just moved in with me entirely in May, and it kind of disrupted my morning routine a bit because now I have a couple extra things I need to do, like doing the cat litter, doing their food, and then also with summer and stuff my routine's been slightly disrupted, and I'm still waking up pretty early, I'm still doing everything I want to do, but I just need to go back and adjust my routine a little bit, look at these extra tasks I need to do in the morning and actually fit them in rather than just doing them in between my other tasks, if that makes sense. I kind of already said my life update because it's also what's been progressing my life recently, which was just summer. I'm definitely more of a winter person, but I can really appreciate summer, especially in Canada. I love the seasons here. I just love how different they feel, and I really like that unlike the UK, Canada has aircon, so I can actually enjoy the heat, which is something I missed because Australia has a lot of aircon but the UK doesn't. Yeah, I'm enjoying summer. I'm enjoying seeing the sun a bit more, seeing all the green trees, and I do keep looking that way if you are watching on video because the window is so gorgeous. And then particularly lake days, I'm planning so many lake days. I really enjoyed the lake day we had, and we are living in Ontario. Isn't it called the province of the lakes or something? Because there are so many cool lakes to go to, and I'm excited to be swimming in fresh water all of summer. And then my current read is Unfortunately Yours by Tessa Bailey. I just started this maybe a day or 2 ago, so I don't have too many opinions yet, but I really liked Secretly Yours, which was the first one in this. I think it's a duology. Secretly Yours was an incredible book, one of the best I've read so far this year, and that was a 5 stars. Unfortunately Yours, I think I'm probably less than 20% in, so I can't say too much. It isn't drawing me in as much as Secretly Yours is, but I am really enjoying it. I love the Napa Valley setting and the wineries, and it's very summery, so I'm hoping it's also going to be a really good read. Okay, so like I said, we have 10 tips. So let's dive into tip number 1 for having the best hot and healing girl summer. Don't let lack of confidence hold you back from making memories. And now this is a big thing I see, particularly in summer, with going to the pool, going to the beach, the lake, even just wearing less clothes because it's hot outside. People get self-conscious, they say no to things because they're letting their lack of confidence hold themselves back. And I can't say anything because I've definitely done this, but this is a change in my life that has made such a big difference. And I think the thing that made it click for me is, in 5 years, are you going to remember how you looked on the day, or are you going to remember the memory from that day? Even in a year, even in a month, I don't think you'll remember how you looked. I think you'll remember the memories, the time with friends, the feeling of doing that activity. Your confidence is the only thing holding you back from having a good time and making memories. And in fact, your confidence is only holding you back. It's not stopping anyone else but you. You are stopping yourself from making these memories if you let it hold you back. And now I'm not saying just to fake it till you make it, because you have to work on confidence in so many different ways. But I think taking this little leap of faith and just not caring about how you look for a second will add to your confidence, because you're proving to yourself that it truly doesn't matter and you should just focus on life rather than appearances. You will thank yourself so much. So I don't quite know how to phrase this, but focus on the moment and not about appearances. And I know sometimes lack of confidence can feel like a bodily thing, like you're just so focused on being in your body and your skin and the feel of your clothes and everything. But really, really try just to be comfortable, wear something comfy. It doesn't have to be the most amazing thing, and just focus on the moment. Nothing to do with your body and how you look. Tip number 2 is, we are not having fear of missing out this summer. I was going to say FOMO, but I feel like that is so 2018. But yeah, fear of missing out is when you really feel this kind of terrible regret and jealousy of not being at an activity or an event. But first of all, I want you to think about this. If you're not invited, do you really want to be there? If someone isn't inviting you, do you want to be friends with them? This hot and healing girl summer, we are prioritizing quality friendships over the quantity of friendships we have. And then 2 notes about this. First of all, you want to learn to enjoy spending time with yourself. You are such a great person. I'm sure you have so many interesting things about you. So yeah, find hobbies you enjoy where you don't need other people. And I think that really helps with not needing to be surrounded by people. And then also just remember that if you want to go to things and you want people to reach out to you, you do kind of have to do the same. It's like karma. If you want people to reach out to you, you have to reach out to them. And if you're putting that social energy out there, you'll get it back. But if you're not planning anything, if you're not reaching out to people to ask them to go for coffee or to go for drinks or whatever, then how can you expect other people to do that for you? So I think putting that effort out there, and also if you are putting that effort out there and people are still not inviting you, then don't focus on them. So it's a bit of a twofold thing in that case. Tip number 3, we are focusing on slow living. We need to be mindful and present in the moment this hot and healing girl summer, and it will make you enjoy your life and appreciate your life so much more. And appreciate is the key word here. Slow living has so much to do with gratitude, and show gratitude for your life and you will get good things back to you. And also, I just think a really nice thing with slow living is focus on adding small things into your daily life that just make you smile, and I think it'll make your day so much better. Tip number 4 is consuming content and social media mindfully. So I talk about this so much on my YouTube channel. If you guys do follow my YouTube channel, do not consume content that makes you anxious, that makes you upset, that makes you nervous. So for me, that's true crime, that's like scary news stories that aren't important to my life. That is content that makes me feel like I'm missing out on life, content that is like shaming me, that kind of thing. I do not like that. So I press mute, unfollow, block, delete, all of those kind of things. If you do not like it, if it does not make you feel amazing, inspired, motivated, happy, then why are you watching it? Why are you following it? Social media is addictive, but if you are mindful about how you feel, if you are intentional, check in with yourself, then you can make it work for you. Each time you see a piece of content, ask if you're watching it because you're scared of something, if they're making you feel like you're going to miss out if you don't do this, if it's sort of threatening you. There's a lot of that kind of content where if you don't do this, then this will happen. That is not the kind of content you want to consume. So what's the worst that can happen if you unfollow someone or press not interested? The only thing that's going to happen is it's going to make your life better. So don't fill your head with negative content from social media. And on the other side, obviously, do follow people who make you super happy. Talking about that, if this podcast is making you happy, please do leave a rate and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Shameless plug. Tip number 5 is to spend time on hobbies that you love. Summer is often associated with having more time off, so use that time off in a way that you'll really thank yourself for. Work on new skills, on creativity, on things you've been meaning to do. I think this will really help in the healing part of Hot and Healing Girl Summer. Focus on yourself, focus on what you want. I feel like a lot of the hobbies that we don't give ourselves enough time for are things that maybe we enjoyed in our childhood that we've now pushed off to the side because we have other responsibilities. So this summer you should focus on them. I just took a big drink of water, and this is a little bonus tip for Hot and Healing Girl Summer, is stay hydrated, and this is your sign to take a big drink of water from your water bottle. And also a side note, I've been putting like extra things in my water bottle this summer, and one of them particularly is lemon, and I've had that sort of infusing with my water. Cucumber is also really good, and so is mint, and then any combos of the three. We've actually been growing mint, so that's perfect for that. But I swear that my water bottle still tastes lemony even when there's no lemon in it, but I mean it's kind of good, so there could be worse things. Okay, tip number 6 is enjoying food. Now this is a couple different aspects. Number 1 is seasonal food. I just love eating within the season, so in summer particularly there is nothing better than a fresh fruit yogurt granola breakfast with an iced coffee, chai or matcha. I think something that makes enjoying summer really great is enjoying all the great seasonal produce out there, particularly if you're going to a farmer's market and buying it fresh, which I love. Recently a farmer's market vlog kind of thing went live on my YouTube channel if you do want to check that out. Super fun. I did a little haul of all the things we got. I've been trying out so many new cool veggies and mushrooms that I haven't tried before just because I've been going to the farmer's market. And then obviously talking about food, summer has this connotation with people wanting summer bodies or to look a certain way, which I personally think is, I don't know if this is controversial, it shouldn't be, kind of disgusting to think of our bodies as a trend or something that we should change for a season. What I'm going to say about Hot and Healing Girl Summer is to fuel your body. You will enjoy life. I cannot even tell you how much more if you fuel your body. When I didn't used to eat enough, I felt so unpresent. My mind was scattered. I couldn't focus. And then suddenly when you're feeling your body, you are present in the moment, you are calm, you are less anxious because your brain actually has enough fuel to work. You're not in survival mode. You will enjoy everything so much more if you are eating enough. And then also, again, summer has a lot to do with like drinking, going out, and Hot and Healing Girl Summer does not condone blacking out. If you're blacking out because you're not eating enough before you go out, that is not it. Please eat a dinner before you go out to the bars. That is such an important one. I felt like I needed to say that. But tip number 7 is prioritizing your values. Now this was kind of a hard one to write down and explain, but basically what I want you to do is figure out what you value, what you want to focus on. So for example, if you're focusing on like socializing and building your friendship groups and the social aspect of life, if you are going on holiday, your viewpoint, your framework of going on holiday might look different to someone whose framework is habits or routine. So for example, let's look at that. If you're going on holiday and your focus is habits and routine, to make yourself happy, you are going to need to focus on waking up at a certain time, maybe getting movement, habits, non-negotiables, that kind of thing. But if you're really prioritizing your social aspect of life, then maybe it's FaceTiming your friends while you're away, or bringing a friend on holiday, or going away with friends and going out to dinner. You want to focus on all of these things, but if you want to feel satisfied at the end of whatever you're doing, if you know you ticked off the boxes with your values and your focuses, I think you'll feel better no matter what. So I have a couple other examples written down. If you're focusing on healthy habits, in summer you might want to focus on your morning routine. You want to drink enough enough water, like I've mentioned earlier with food and stuff. And if you're going out drinking, don't not drink just because you're focusing on healthy habits, unless you want to, of course, that's your decision. Prioritize drinking enough water alongside your drinks. Or maybe if you want to do something social, but again, you're focusing on habits, see how you can incorporate that. For example, like going to a workout class or yoga or going on a walk with a friend. Then we have like obviously Healing Girl Summer, focusing on journaling and spending time with yourself, going on solo dates. If you're focusing on building friendships, focus on checking in with people, sending texts, swiping up on stories, saying meaningful things to people, and making plans with them. Or if you're in your lover girl era, lover girl summer, then focus on love languages. What acts of service can you do for people? How can you share words of affirmation? Maybe plan some dates and spend meaningful time with your partner. So all of this is to say, and I hope it makes sense, you want to enjoy summer in all the aspects, but look at your values and see how you can look at what you're doing within your values, if that makes sense. I really hope it did, because I feel like that is such an important point, and I hope some of you got something from that. Tip number 8 is self-love. Now, this is kind of the backbone of a lot of points I've talked about, but some ways to do this are showing gratitude towards yourself, towards your body, towards what you've done and what you've achieved, and just appreciating yourself and appreciating what you're doing, how far you've come, and everything like that. And focusing on self-love will really help you build your confidence this summer. Okay, tip number 9 is reading. If you just started listening to the podcast, I've definitely spoken about how I'm really into reading, and if you watch my YouTube channel or even my TikTok, you probably know that I'm into reading. But reading is perfect for this hot and healing girl summer, because I just keep saying like blank girl summer, but intelligent girl summer, creative girl summer, all that kind of thing. Reading is just the most incredible hobby, and I couldn't speak more highly of it. I did a whole YouTube video on how to get into reading, and in that I spoke about like why you should get into reading, but it is just the most incredible hobby. It is amazing for your brain, your memory, your mental health, your creativity, inspiration, and just spending time with yourself. But then also it's really good for replacing scrolling, which is a really big thing that holds a lot of people back. So we are at tip number 10, which might be the most important tip of them all: creating sustainable habits for your summer. Like I've said, summer coincides with traveling, being more social, having time off, among other things. And we want to pick habits that we can do no matter what and no matter where. These are non-negotiables that you have chosen for yourself, that you know will make your day better, that align with your values, and that you want to prioritize every day. So for example, I'm traveling this summer. I'm going to the UK for about a month. And when I first booked this trip, because I'm going for a variety of reasons, not just for holiday, I was really worried about being away from Canada and being away from home and being away from Jake for so long. I think focusing on non-negotiables and ways I'm going to enjoy my time there has really, really helped. So I'm not going to get massively out of routine because I'm going to pick these non-negotiables. So let's talk about some examples. For example, if during the winter you like to go to the gym, that's really great. But if you're traveling this summer, then you might not have access to a gym. You might not have access to your gym with your machines. So saying movement as a habit rather than gym is going to be a lot better for a sustainable habit. And then there are other small sustainable habits which, if you acknowledge yourself doing them and acknowledge how they make a change in your life, even though they might be second nature to you, it's really good to show how you're working on yourself. So whether that's, for me, reading or skincare, or even just taking like a nice shower and taking care of yourself, all of those are habits that you can sustain no matter what you're doing, and doing them does make your life better. So if anyone wants to hear more about sustainable habits, send me a DM, maybe I'll do a post on the Instagram. But I think it is so important to have habits that you can continue no matter where you are, because then it doesn't feel like your routine is totally disrupted whenever that happens. Again, like another example that just came to mind, if you're going out and your routine, your habit is wake up at 5 a.m. but you're out till like 1 a.m, you're not getting enough sleep. So you need a habit that you're actually going to be able to sustain. I think in my summer reset video I spoke about some of my sustainable habits, but they're basically things I've already mentioned: reading, waking up relatively early, getting enough sleep, trying to go to bed before midnight, all that kind of stuff. So that is the 10 habits, tips, tricks, everything like that I have for you for Hot and Healing Girls Summer. Let me know how your summer is going so far and what you're doing for Hot and Healing Girls Summer. And if you listen this far, I cannot say thank you enough. Thank you very much for listening to the second episode of People in Progress. Just a reminder to leave a rate and a review if you enjoyed this episode. You can leave that on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, I believe, and then also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're watching on there. Leave a little comment. I'd love to say hi to you guys, and follow the People in Progress podcast on Instagram. Thank you again so much for listening, and see you next Monday.